Hey, y'all, welcome back to Climbing Culture Daily with Rhonda, where we unpack culture, community, and why we do the things we do. And so today's question is, why do so many people living in so-called middle class or even people struggling themselves get mad at people living in poverty? And why they are so quiet about the rich? So you hear it all the time that people on so-called welfare are lazy. They just don't want to work harder. But you rarely hear or get the same energy for billionaires and, who don't pay taxes or corporations that are paying basically starvation wages. And so why is that? So please know it's not accidental. It's a strategy. Wealthy people are powerful institutions who benefit when the working class and the poor are fighting against each other. So when we are infighting, when we're going at each other, they benefit. It's easier to blame the mom using food stamps than the politician who is cutting housing assistance and gave all those tax breaks to the millionaires and the billionaires. This is what we really mean when we say, divide and conquer. And there's the illusion of proximity to power. A lot of people living in middle class believe they are closer to being rich than to being poor. They see themselves as temporarily not wealthy. So they defend the rich because they think one day I'll be rich. That could be me. But they're actually one medical bill, one accident, one layoff, one major disaster away from being broke. They're so much more closer to poverty than closer to a yacht. And there's also respectability politics and shame. So being poor in this country is treated like a personal failure, not a systemic issue. So people work hard and so hard to prove they're not like those poor people. They attack the poor to distance themselves from being associated with struggle, with laziness, perceived laziness. Because being poor is seen as shameful, but being rich is seen as powerful, as successful, and even moral. And then there's the media's role. How many TV shows highlight welfare fraud? Remember when 60 Minutes did the whole thing on the welfare queen back in the 80s and 90s? Versus doing anything about corporate fraud. We rarely hear anything about corporate stealing, corporate welfare. Who do these stories show as the dangerous ones? The billionaire exploiting workers or the homeless person downtown? All the time, we shaped the homeless as crazy and dangerous, but not the crazy and dangerous person who literally steals money out of the pockets of the workers that they benefit from. We are trained to fear poverty and not greed. So what it really comes down to is that it's easier to criticize a person that you see at the bus stop than a billionaire in a gated community. It's safer to blame the single mom than the system that makes childcare unaffordable. And it's more comfortable to say they're lazy than admit the system was never built for working people to win. So, the next time somebody, including you, says people just need to work harder, and ask them or yourself, who are you really mad at? The people struggling or the people who built the world where struggle is normal? Because if we keep fighting each other, we will never have the energy to challenge the people who are really in power. So, this is Rhonda with Climbing Culture Daily. Culture is a mirror, and sometimes it shows us what we don't want to see, but that's how we grow. If this made you think, like, share, and drop your thoughts. See you the next time.